Welcome to the Pre-Snap Podcast presented by LineStar, your best prop bets for tonight in Monday Night Football. We've got the Giants going up against the Seahawks alongside my co-host, Tyler Wiemann. I'm Shannon Sommerville. Tyler, I know I don't sound that great. Had COVID. Everybody be safe out there. But you know what made me the most sick all weekend was the end of that Jets-Chiefs game last night. Let me just tell you, that was a horrible way to end a football game, Tyler. I know you were thinking of this.
I was, for a couple different reasons, because you guys were in the game and you lost your prop bet, and then you ended up losing the game as well.
My whole philosophy since Aaron Rodgers has gone down has been I'm just fading the Jets to try to make my money back from all the futures bets that I placed on like Garrett Wilson and all this and that. And, sure enough, I'm happy to lose my prop bet. I'm happy to lose some money for Zach Wilson if my team wins. But not only did we not win, but the refs single-handedly decided that they wanted to impact the game. And I know we had I saw a really funny tweet that was like, we have Deadpool at this game. We have Hugh Jackman. We have the Wolverine. We have Taylor Swift. But I guess the refs just did not want to be outshined last night, so they had to make a statement, and it was pretty devastating pass interference call there at the end. What do you know? Patrick Mahomes gets bailed out yet again. Another shot.
I mean,
have we seen this story before?
He did hold a little bit.
Did you see the holding of the offensive line? Oh my God, it was just brutal.
Yeah.
Anyways, the whole game. Just nonetheless, we move on. It was at least good to see some offense being played last night for the New York Jets. There were some reasons to be hopeful, but this just being a Jets fan is they give you a little bit of hope and then they crush you. That's how it goes.
Do you think there is anything to Aaron Rodgers, showing up, being part of the team, and Zach Wilson finally playing decently?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think there's something to be said for that. How much of an impact he had, I don't know, but totally. Just give him a little bit of confidence having his mentor up there, his Mr. Miyagi up in the stands. So, I mean, whatever it takes at this point, right? So, but it was good to, Zach Wilson held his own against the defending Super Bowl champs. So that is the silver lining in all of this. Nonetheless, we move on to tonight's game, a thriller once again on Monday night. This is the third time we've seen, or the third or fourth time the Giants, third time they've been in prime time so far this season. It's a little bit too much prime time for the Giants this early in the season, if you ask me. But nonetheless, this is why we have prop betting, so that we can find some interesting angles to play and make it exciting for ourselves, right? Seahawks going up against the Giants in this one. The Seahawks are 2-1, while the Giants are 1-2. They've been pretty miserable to start out the season. This is kind of a must-win game for the Giants in this one. When you look at it, it doesn't seem all that appealing of a matchup, but we do have some edge that we can find in the prop market. We're using the LineStar's PropsAI tool to help us find the best value. So we're going to give you our 3 best plays. The one is going to come from LineStar's PropsAI tool, and then Tyler and I are going to pick our best bets, and then we're going to get into anytime touchdowns. All right, and you can find some of these bets on Underdog Fantasy, PrizePicks, Sleeper, CHALKBOARD. All of those apps are great ways to play these games, and when you download those apps, use the promo code LineStar, and you'll get up to $100 if your first deposit match. So make sure to take advantage of that deal. Links and promo codes, again, are listed below, so make sure to check those out. All right, well, let's get into it for tonight's game. We're going to start things off with Seahawks wide receiver Tyler Lockett over 51.5 receiving yards. It's minus 125. Now, he's only gone over this one of 3 games so far this season. So that's averaging about 34.4 yards per game. However, this is a guy who in 2022 averaged 64.6 receiving yards per game, and Lockett's in a great spot here, especially those Seahawks receivers. Going to be in a good spot tonight, going up against the New York Giants secondary that has struggled. They rank dead last in pass defense DVOA against wide receiver 2 specifically. You got rookie cornerbacks back there who have been struggling to start the season, Tyler, and I think this is a great spot for us to take advantage of. He also gets the Tyler boost, right? Tyler Lockett, what do you think about his chances to go over this tonight?
Yeah, I love Tyler Lockett tonight. I think he is in a really good spot. And, you know, he only has one game, I think, that he's been over so far this season.
Mhm.
However, we know he's a guy that isn't always the most consistent, but right now he is in a
Yeah.
very good spot versus this Giants team, 32nd in DVO versus wide receiver 2. And Lockett's a guy that has a solid A dot, can get deep, and honestly, it only takes him a couple catches to hit that 51.5 a lot of the times. And I think in this matchup, it's one where he could definitely exploit the Giants.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge challenge for that Giants secondary tonight. I know that they've kind of struggled so far this season against, the Cowboys, 49ers, even the Cardinals. But tonight's going to be an even bigger challenge against these Seahawks wide receivers that just present so much of a downfield threat. And Geno Smith, is going to be attacking those rookie cornerbacks back there with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett back there. So I like Tyler Lockett here, though, that wide receiver too. That's been really tough for the Giants to guard against so far this season. That DVOA stat that we mentioned, DVOA's defensive value over average, which is basically like a kind of like a power ranking. It takes into account quality of opponent and stuff like that, but it's specifically against wide receiver too. So it's always been a good stat that I use for a lot of these props because it kind of like hones in on the different matchups too. All right, next up, Tyler, let's you and I pick our favorite props for Monday Night Football Week 4. What do you got for me?
All right. With my pick, I am going with Darius Slayton over 40.5 receiving yards. That's minus 105 in sportsbook. This is a guy who has a very good matchup going against Seattle. They're 24th in DVOA. They have a lot of injuries on the back end of their defense. He also has a 14.1 yard A dot, so only a couple catches will get him to this, but he has 34% of the team's air yards, 18% target share. He is somebody that's on the field a lot and in a great spot to, exploit this secondary that's a little beat up.
Yeah, and exactly. The other thing that we haven't mentioned so far is Saquon Barkley is listed as doubtful for tonight. So that's another weapon taken away from Daniel Jones. He's going to have to look to some other guys to really step up in this one. So I like where your head's at with that one. For my prop, like I mentioned, with Saquon Barkley out of the equation in this one, he's going to have to rely on some other playmakers. And one of those playmakers, I think, is going to have to be their tight end, Darren Waller. And why not? Because opposing teams wide tight ends rather have just done a lot of damage against this Seahawks team. In fact, Seahawks ranked 30th in pass defense DVOA versus opposing teams tight end. Meanwhile, Waller's gone over this just one of 3 games, but he's averaging 44 receiving yards per game. He had 76 against the Arizona Cardinals, who were 22nd in pass defense DVOA versus tight ends. So now he gets the 30th ranked team. And when you look back at the teams, how they are past tight ends, how they've done. Detroit, Sam Laporta had 63 and Tyler Higbee had 49 against the Seahawks. Darren Waller, really talented tight end. In fact, he's basically kind of like a wide receiver for Daniel Jones in this one. And I expect them to lean on Darren Waller heavily in this one. And so I think he will hit the over of 47.5 in that one. All right, you can find those bets and tail us if you want on Underdog Fantasy, PrizePicks, Sleeper, Chalkboard. Use that promo code LineStar for up to $100 of your first deposit match. Great apps because if you're in a state like I am in California where sports betting is not yet legalized, it's a great way to just get your plays in there. It's considered daily fantasy sports. So check out if it is legal in your state and bet responsibly. All right, now it's time for Anytime Touchdowns. Tyler, where are you headed for a touchdown tonight, Monday Night Football?
Well, I like where your head was at with the Darren Waller prop pick because I'm going Darren Waller for a touchdown plus 190. This is a guy that is 6'6", 255, and just has absolutely incredible athleticism. The other thing, in fantasy, in DFS, for a few years now, it's been you play the tight end versus Seattle. And once again, that is a situation. They're 30th in DVOA versus the tight end. And he has a 21% target share with that elite size athleticism. He's a great red zone threat. And I think that Daniel Jones is going to be looking his way a lot tonight.
All right. I'm going to go back to my Seahawks wide receiver. I'm going DK Metcalf plus 130 or a touchdown tonight. He has the second most red zone targets so far this season over the last 4 weeks, behind Tyler Lockett. Giants 30th in pass defense DVOA. They just haven't been good in the passing defense. And they also could be lined up on the side of rookie cornerback Deonte Banks. He's a first rounder, and he's got a huge size advantage here, about 2 inches and 30 pounds on the rookie. He's kind of been struggling so far this season. I just think that secondary of the Giants is going to have a really tough time in this one, and Geno Smith is going to try to pick them apart. He's going to go to those wide receivers early and often. I think he's going to target DK Metcalf, who's such a strong, powerful wide receiver to go up against in this one. And I think he's going to be a big mismatch problem for this Giants defense. And I'm taking DK Metcalf for an anytime touchdown. For more stats, analytics, everything you need to dominate in daily fantasy and the prop betting market, make sure to check out the LineStar app. That's where we go for our tools and everything that we need. That PropsAI tool is super helpful to help you find the best value in the prop market. Tyler, I'm going to rest up, recover, hopefully win some money tonight in Monday Night Football. Hopefully the refs don't decide to dictate the outcome of this one. I'm still a little bitter. Can you tell?
Yeah, just a tad.
Yeah, a little bit. Started getting a little mad at Swifty. I was just very upset and was a little.
Are you finally on board that you've had enough of Taylor Swift?
It's a little much. It's saturated. Like every commercial, is Travis Kelce, and then now there's commercials coming up during the game of, I guess, Taylor Swift is coming out with something. It's just like a lot of Taylor Swift during a time when I had seen some life finally from this Jets offense, and it was like, oh, why did we need to make that call? Man, that was brutal for Jets fans. So I'm hoping that you guys out there watching this, please tell me that I'm not the only one out there that thinks that game was completely rigged. And there's a couple of these.
No, you're going rigged?
There's a couple of these games every time, like per year. And at the end of the game, I'm like, why do I even watch this sport? Because, the refs make a bad call. And it's sometimes not even my team, right? Like, I'm like, yeah. It's just not fun to watch when there's a bad call that decides the outcome of a game. That's just how it is. But so
you just need to pay off the script writers.
Yes, all right. We need to win some money so we can pay off the script writers, people. Let's hear your prop bets in the comments. Make sure to comment below. Do us a huge favor, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and comment below. We need to make the money so we can pay off the script writers, so we can have a Jets Super Bowl finally. All right. So good luck to everybody out there playing. Bet responsibly, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Good luck, guys. Bye.